Welcome to this week's edition of Red Devil Roundup. And of course, this summer what we're doing is we're previewing a lot of the fall sports we have here at Owensboro High School. Well, our first sport up is cross country, and I'll go ahead and let my first guest introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Ethan Glenn, and I run Owensboro cross country.
Ethan, what age are you?
I'm 17.
So I guess you're a senior here at Owensboro, or will be a senior come fall.
Yep.
How long have you been running cross country?
Well, this will be my third year.
Third year. You know, of all the sports, why cross country? You know, what is it about cross country that really gets you going?
Well, it seems to me that cross country is a lot harder sport than any other sport out there. I think people work harder at cross country, and that's what gets me motivated, that hard work.
Sure. You know, what is a typical race? You know, how long is a typical race when you actually get into the season?
5 kilometers or 3.1 miles.
3.1 miles. So it's even the races are pretty long. How do y'all prepare for that? You know, how does one practice for a cross country race?
Well, there's 2 ways that you prepare. Obviously, mentally and physically. Go over the race in your mind before the night of the race, and obviously ice your legs, stretch, and yeah, the basics.
Sure, the basics. As far as cross country goes, how big of a team did you all have this year, or rather will you have this year?
We'll have I'd say a bigger team than what we had last year. Younger, definitely. Yeah, really young team this year.
Really young team this year. As far as the talent level of y'all's team, you know, where do you see you guys at this year? I know you know it's a very competitive sport here in Owensboro.
Well, I think we're losing a lot of guys, a lot of seniors. We had loads of talent in those seniors.
Sure.
And now that they're leaving, you know, we got big shoes to fill, and I guess we're just looking up to that challenge.
Sure, absolutely. Well, Ethan, is there anything else that you'd want to add about this upcoming season? Where do you guys run at as far as you know your competitions?
We run at Yellow Creek Park, Panther Creek. I mean, just all over the town, man. All over the state.
So I guess your big message is come out and try something new. You know, come to a race. I'm sure a lot of people probably haven't been to a cross country race before.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. I encourage everyone in OHS to try. I mean, you could be a good runner and not even know it.
Sure. Well, next up we'll have another cross-country runner here at Owensboro High School. And we're back here with another cross-country runner for the Owensboro High School Red Devils. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Austin Kimmel.
Austin, what year will you be here this fall at Owensboro High School?
I'll be a senior.
Be a senior.
Yeah.
How long have you been running cross-country?
Well, since the 6th grade.
Since the 6th grade.
Yeah.
So you've been going at it for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
How is cross-country different from another sport?
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of glamour to it, is what everyone always says. I mean, that's normally the right answer, I guess. So, I mean, you just have to go out there and run. I mean, it's not as much fun, I guess, as basketball or football, but it's just a lot of work. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you'll get rewards for it.
Well, I was going to say, why do you participate in cross-country? I mean, what about cross-country is appealing to you?
I mean, it's just the guys we have on the team. We've got so many different ones. We always just have a great time. I mean, over the years, we've had different teams, and this year's none different from those years. And so we've got so many different guys on the team. They're just a lot of fun. We've got a lot of great memories we've had, and I mean, I cherish those.
Sure. I mean, when you guys are out running, it seems like you know you are having a good time. You know, when most people run, you know, it's almost a chore, but it almost seems like you guys are having a good time. You know, what are the conversations like when y'all are running? I know y'all are always talking. Are y'all motivating each other? What are those like?
Oh man, there's so many different things we say. I mean, I can't even begin to say what some of the stuff that happens in those conversations.
We'll leave some of that for you
funny.
guys in motivation. Talk about you know, the age group. I know you've got a lot of guys out there. You know, some are young. Of course, you guys are seniors. Kind of just talk a little bit about you know, how early this starts for some.
Well, I mean, a lot of them come out in middle school because we've got 2 really good middle school recruiting coaches. They really go out there and they really try hard to recruit. I mean, that's how I got here. I know that's how my friend Ethan got here. And then on top of that, even though whenever they go to high school, most of those guys don't translate over and they go and do something else, but there's always those few that do stick with it. And so those guys normally build up our team over the years. And so this year we've got a few freshmen out. I'm sure we're going to get more than what we already have here at summer practice. So
I was going to say, speaking of summer practice, I mean, you guys don't start obviously till the fall, but you're already out here. Why is it important, to go ahead and prepare now for this?
well, because of Davis County High School.
They're pretty
They're
tough, aren't
always
they?
out there. They're
Sure.
always out there. So
Are they? Would you consider them kind of the big rivals with you guys? I mean, they're the team to beat, and y'all are going to get them.
oh yeah, definitely them. And then there's a bunch of other bigger schools out in Louisville that always
Sure.
are competing for the state title, and so they're always the top. There's a top three.
Absolutely.
So.
How hard is cross country? I mean, some people, they say, well, I can run a mile, but I mean, you guys are running pretty far distances, I'm sure, even in practice. I mean, scale of 1 to 10, how hard is it to be a cross country runner?
Not that hard, I don't
Not
think.
that hard? Well,
I
you've been
mean,
doing it since 6th grade.
yeah.
For the average person, how hard do you think it would be to go compete just in a race?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you run, I guess. I
Sure.
mean, if you want to run fast, then you're going to hurt. Every time you run, the faster you run, the more you hurt. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of it because, ordinary people, they'd want to go out there, and if they want to go out there and run, they could be really good at it. Anybody can. I mean, it's just a bunch of work. If you put into it, you'll normally reap the benefits.
Sure. Now, you guys, like I said, will be starting this fall for competition. Is there anything you just want to tell people to come out? I mean, is that something that you guys, want as far as guys to come out and cheer you on? I'm sure that, that gives you that extra strength that you're looking for.
Yeah, we've been talking about we'd really like to have a band out there at one point, like the marching band or something. We thought that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
So,
All right. Well, next up, we'll have the men's cross-country coach right after this break. Welcome back to Red Devil Roundup, and now we are joined by the boys cross-country coach. Of course, that is Mark Rowe. Mark, just kind of talk about this upcoming season for you guys. Seems like you have somewhat of a young team, but y'all are out here early, getting a head start.
Yes, we will have a little bit of a young team, but we're going to have 2 or 3 seniors that have been in the program for a long time that we are going to depend on heavily. But in cross country, I think youth is just a number. I'm more concerned with how long these guys have been running. So almost, they have their normal age and then they have their running age.
Sure.
And a lot of these guys have been running a long time. So I have no doubt we're going to have a great season. In fact, I'm probably more excited about this season than any season I've been coaching, just for the fact that there's a lot of uncertainty. We have a chance to be pretty good if we put in the work.
Sure.
But I'm very excited about this season.
Just kind of talk a little bit about, a lot of people might not know, how do you win in cross country? Obviously, the person that wins the race wins, but, as a team, how do you guys go out there and compete?
What they do is they take the places of the top 5 runners across the line. So, for instance, a perfect score of 15 points in cross country, that would be going first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So it's kind of like golf. The low score wins, but it's very simple. Just, like I said, add up the places of your top 5 finishers, add them up, low score wins.
Typically, a race, you're looking at a little over 3 miles, but how much do y'all practice for that? I mean, do you run a longer distance? Do you run a similar distance? Is it a combination of the two? Just kind of talk about how you all, prepare for the actual races.
Typically, we go, longer than a race distance. For instance, when school starts, our juniors and seniors will come in the morning and run 4 or 5 miles 3 days a week, in addition to afternoon practice. On workout days, our mileage total is typically quite a bit more than the race itself. Simply put, we want our race day to be an easy day for these guys. We want our race day to be something they don't fear.
Sure.
And just like the old saying goes, until you can do it in competition, you have to do it in practice.
Sure. What makes a good cross-country runner? I mean, is there a certain body type? Is there a certain, you run more than the other? How do you get good at this sport?
I think it's just about being willing to put in the work, just like anything else, being willing to put in the work over a long period of time, being consistent. That has a lot to do with it. I've seen kids come in this program as freshmen or sophomores. Ethan is a great example over there, a guy that came in as a freshman, committed, bought in, and has seen a whole lot of improvement. Austin's the same way. Kimmel, he has seen a lot of improvement over the last several years, just for the fact they've stuck around.
Sure.
And they've done the right things. And So proud of both those guys. Proud of the whole team this season.
Absolutely. Cross country, there's a little bit of a tradition in your family with it. Just kind of talk about, why you all are so involved in this sport, and kind of talk just a little bit about, I know your dad's been involved, your brother's been involved. Why is it such a big deal in the Rowe family?
Well, honestly, we're involved in the sport because of what took place in the 1960s here at Owensboro High. My father graduated from Owensboro in '71, had a great coach in Bob Puckett, was on a couple state championship teams here. Had an uncle that ran here, another uncle that wrestled. My grandfather went here. So, I mean, it started for us here back in the 60s and 70s. So what happened here is carried over to what's happened with my father getting into coaching at Davis County and being there for so long and winning some state championships and a couple of National Coach of the Year awards. So, but it all started on Owensboro. That's where it all goes back to. This year, my younger brother Matt's going to be coaching over there at Davis County as the head cross country coach. So we're very close. So it's going to be fun. And for me, it's not about us versus them. It's about how well can I get our guys ready for race day, no matter who's in the race.
Absolutely. Yeah. Why do you think your kids come out for cross country? What is so appealing about cross country? Because you're a normal person, you're like, you got to run these long distances.
Right.
What is it about this sport do you think people are so passionate about?
I think it's a lot of things. One being camaraderie. A lot of guys come out for cross country and they maybe don't know how they're going to like it. Starting out, they're nervous about it, but once they get on the team and realize each year we have a great group of guys who are there for each other. It's like a family. The hard work is a lot more manageable when you do it with people you enjoy being around.
Sure, absolutely. Well, Coach, is there anything else that you'd want to add about this upcoming season? When do you all start off the season, actually? I know, of course, you're in summer practice right now.
Right. We have 2 home meets this season, and obviously more than that, actually, in Owensboro, but we're hosting 2 home meets. On August 27th, it's a Tuesday, we're hosting the 3rd annual Kentucky-Indiana Border Clash out of Yellow Creek Park. Last year we had 26 teams. We had 13 from Indiana, 13 from Kentucky. Wow. Thinking this year hopefully will be bigger. So that's just a fun way to kick off the season, a very competitive meet. And then a week and a half later, on September 7th, we have the 49th annual Owensboro Invitational. And we'll have divisions all the way from elementary school through high school. Will be a great day of running. So we would love to have all the support we can out there cheering us on. It means a lot to these guys to have folks out there lining the course cheering them on.
Well, that's this week's edition of Red Devil Roundup with Cross Country. I hope you enjoyed the program and got to know a little bit more about this sport. For the Owensboro Public School System, I'm Dave Kirk. Thanks for watching.